everyone and welcome to another video. Today's video I'm doing my monthly wrap up. This is the month of February and I'm wrapping up my February reads. I managed to read 13 books this month, which I'm really kind of pleased about actually, because I didn't think I was going to do that well. I am going to be thanking Project TBR Readathon for this, my readathon, because I did manage to read 5 books during that week, which is super good. And the order of which I'm going to be talking about these books is in order of how I read them. So the first book I read was Half Wild by Sally Green, which I absolutely adored. I now have 3 copies in total, look, matching my 3 copies of Half Bad, of course. I'm actually waiting on the 4th copy of this book to arrive because I bought the special edition. This was a fantastic sequel, a wonderful, wonderful read. I have actually reviewed it and it will be coming out closer to release date, so, or in fact it will be published on the day this book is released at the end of March, so definitely keep an eye out for that. Just a great read, such a wonderful story, such a wonderful plot line. I love Sally Green. Oh, and I interviewed her this month as well, so I'm going to link that down below once the video is available. And then I moved straight on to Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard, which again was an absolutely phenomenal read. Just 5 out of 5 stars, split, just awesome. I can't even fathom my words right now. This story was detailed, this story had magic, the biggest plot twist I've read in a very long time, and just awesomeness altogether, about a world where you have red bloods and silver bloods. Silver bloods have powers, red bloods do not, and it's about a girl who is red blood, yet she is very similar to the Silver Bloods. Go and check this book out. A book which I read this month was Ravencliff by Carol Goodman, which unfortunately I did not enjoy as much as I hoped I would. I loved the first book, Blythewood, because this is the sequel. And yeah, I didn't really like this one. It dragged a bit too much for me, so I didn't rate this one very well, but definitely give the first one a go because I loved the first one, so I don't know why I didn't like this one. Maybe it's a reread in the future. A book which I read this month and absolutely adored, is one of my new favourite dystopian reads, is New World Rising by Jennifer Wilson. This is all set in a futuristic world called Tartarus, where it's been separated from the kind of safe place to live, and it's a desolate, destroyed city where tribes rule it, different tribes, and it's about a girl who is just trying to survive by herself and she gets caught up in a bit of a rebellion. So good. So wonderful, and the cover is amazing, and it's a really quick read too. The monster of a book I read this month was The Key by Sarah B. Elfgren and Matt Stransberg. This is the 3rd and final book in the Engelsfors trilogy. I think I said that completely wrong. This was 800 pages of pure amazingness. I thoroughly enjoyed this series. I'm so sad yet relieved it's over because I'm so glad that I kind of went on this journey over the 3 years in the book. And yeah, I kind of would like more of this book in the future and see what happens after this world, but the authors aren't doing that at the moment, so very sad. Such a wonderful read. 5 out of 5 stars. The whole series I give is 5 out of 5 stars. I really recommend you read them because I think you guys would love them, and the UK covers are so amazing. My Read with Ben book pick of the month this month was the Descendant series by Melissa Wright, which I read the whole series. The first one is Bound by Prophecy, the second one is Shifting Fate, and the third one is Reign of Shadows. This is a paranormal urban thrilling read about these separate 2 clans. You have Dragonbloods, who are these people who have abilities such as they can command people with their mind, yet their abilities can be dulled down due to a certain event, and it's about these 2 girls who are caught up in this prophecy, and they've just got to go on this adventure with these guys, and they find their loves, and there's action, and there's death, and there's backstabbing, and it's just a really awesome quick read. I loved this series and so glad we read it for Read with Ben book pick. So I hope you enjoyed this, but just a wonderful quick fun read, yet not as fun because it's kind of dangerous and dark, yet still really sweet. 5 out of 5 for the whole series altogether. Just wonderful, and yes, Melissa Wright has written some other books, so I'm going to be reading those books next month, which I'll show you in my TBR. Then it starts off the readathon for the Project TBR, and the first book I read in the readathon was Red Moon by Benjamin Percy, which I enjoyed the first half and did not enjoy the second half. Unfortunately, I felt like it dragged a bit. I really liked the premise of it, about a world where you have werewolves and you have humans, and the werewolves are kind of rebelling, and there's like terrorism and all these things. I thought it was a really cool plot line, but I felt like it just dragged a bit too much. But the cover is amazing, and I don't know, I definitely think this is going to be one of the ones which I'm going to reread later on in the future. But yes, apart from that, it wasn't the best read for me this month. This book though, Sultan Storm by Victoria Scott, was such an amazing sequel. Again, just absolutely love this world where there's a race to find a cure for an illness, and there's all these people in this race and they've got to go through 4 different kind of terrains. Did I say that right this time? And they've already been through 2 in the first book, and this is when they're going through the water terrain and the mountain terrain, and it's just so awesome. Such a cool series. I cannot wait for the 3rd one because this one leaves me kind of thirsting for more. Just a brilliant series, I really recommend. The next 2 books I read in my readathon was Life Eternal by Yvonne Woon, book 2 in the Dead Beautiful series, and then I read book 3, Love Reborn, and I finished this series. This was such an awesome paranormal series. Paranormal romance, very heavy romance, but set in a boarding school. It kind of goes back and forth between like, you feel like you're reading a book set in like the 1400s when actually it's set in modern times, but that's how far and kind of mythological this group of people are, and it's just a wonderful series. So I really highly recommend this. If you haven't read it, you should go and read it. And last but not least, this month I read Catalyst by Helena Coogan. First off, I'm saying this book was written by a 15-year-old. Second off, I'm going to say this book is one of the best books I've read this year. Such a high fantasy, epic, imagination-filled, thrilling read. I cannot rave about it enough. I really urge you to go read this. It's come out on the 19th of February, so it's out now already. It's just amazing. About a world where you have magically gifted, non-magically gifted, but it's all because it's kind of post-apocalyptic, because there was a big event happen which caused people to have these magical abilities, and they go to school, they learn to enhance it, and this girl is part of the department. It's thrilling. It's kind of like a mix between Harry Potter, Divergent, and Veronica Mars. Could I not stress how amazing that is? So there you have it. They're all the books I read this month. I hope you enjoyed this reading month as well, and let me know down in the comments below if you read any of these books or if you're excited about any of these books, and definitely give this a thumbs up if you enjoyed. I'm going to leave my book depository link down if you want to go buy any of the books there with free shipping. Yes, I'll speak to you guys next time. Come over to my social media. Bye bye.